Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to talk about my top 5 most used eyeshadow palettes. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. Okay, so I feel like I review a ton of new palettes, but when I'm not testing something new, there are just some old favorites that I always go back to. I do wear makeup most days, so I usually do always come back to my trusty favorites. So, in no particular order, the first palette we're going to talk about is from ColourPop, and that's the That's Taupe palette. I've used this one quite a bit. It's really not showing its wear very well. I am pretty light-handed with my shadows, so you can't really tell, but this is just such an easy palette to reach for every single day. I love cool tones, and this is just, I create the most wearable, easy looks with this palette, so I really enjoy this one. I can really amp it up with these shimmers. The shimmers in here are wonderful, but overall, this is just such an easy palette and I just really enjoy it. I haven't been using it a ton lately, just going into the summer months. I want brighter, airier, rosy tones and just brighter shades in general, but this is just one that I love coming back to. Okay, speaking of another neutral palette that I love coming back to, this is the Lorac Vintage Glamour palette. So this is definitely an older palette, I guess. I think this was a 2020 release. Again, very neutral palette. You can definitely see the wear and tear in my mattes along the bottom row. The shimmers in the top row, I do think the first 3 are a bit dry. The rest of these are beautiful. These are nice too. They're definitely very sparkly. They look beautiful on the lid, but again, they are just a little bit drier. But overall, this is just another super easy palette to use. Very neutral. You do have some cooler tones, but for the most part, this is just a really neutral palette. And I really enjoy it. Again, this is just another one that's so easy to go for every single day. So neutral, so basic with the mattes, or you can just go really glam by adding on the shimmers, but either way, I always love what I create with this one, and again, it's just so easy. And you'll definitely notice a pattern with me in neutrals and neutral palettes. They're easy. So that is what I like on an everyday basis. Okay, next up is a newer palette to my collection that I just love it. It's a favorite. This is one that when I initially got it, I thought it's pretty, I like it. But it's not spectacular, and next thing I know, it's the one I want every single day. That is the Natasha Denona Mini Biba palette. So this is just 5 shades, 4 mattes, and a shimmer. This is what I have on my eyes today. I love it. So this is a neutral palette. This one is inspired by her full-size Biba palette, but the thing about this one I find is that it definitely pulls very peach. I do also find that this shade, and this shade all pull a very similar shade. This one is definitely the brightest of the two, but those 3 shades do pull pretty similarly. However, I still use all of the shades and I still really love this palette. This is like my favorite little palette to reach for right now. This is the one I go for every day most of the time because of that shimmer shade in the middle. Whenever I get a new palette and I see a shade that somewhat looks similar to this, I am always swatching and comparing because I'm determined to find a shimmer that is similar to this. I just love it so much. So this has just been my go-to for the past like 6 months. It's been crazy. So absolutely love it. Okay, next up is from Natasha Denona. Actually, the next 2 are Natasha Denona, but the first one is the Retro palette. So I really do like to spice it up. I like to add in different shades, add in, you know, I don't always want those browns, so this is the perfect one to add in to change that up. You do have a couple of more brown tone shades in here. You're gonna get a beautiful mauvey rosy eye look. Or you can even put like glitz all over the lid and just get a really pretty, very light, ethereal pink sparkly lid. It's beautiful. So I love this one. This is the one I go to when I'm tired of the browns, when I'm tired of the neutrals. This is the go-to. This is beautiful. But going back to more neutral shades, the Natasha Denona Glam Palette is also one that I have used a ton. And this one also shows its wear quite a bit. I don't know if you can see on camera, but this one is definitely very well loved, very well used. It's so easy to create a look with this one. And, you know, that's partially because they are very neutral shades. It is very cool tones because it is all more of those browny, taupey kind of browns. It's easy to wear. And the mattes work with any of these shimmers. It's so easy to just throw, say, blend or crease in the crease and then just throw on a shimmer. It's so easy. It's just so effortless. And that's why this one has also remained a favorite. This is one I love to reach for as well. But that is it. Those are my top 5 most used eyeshadow palettes. I just thought it would be fun to give a look through my collection as somebody who does review a lot of palettes, and I'm always talking about palettes and different palettes. I thought it'd be fun to just look through and see which ones I actually use all the time. So that is it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. And that's it for me today. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!